Hey guys, Big Mike here. I decided to do a video and wrap up the whole week last week. Instead of doing a midweek video, decided to go ahead and try to put everything together because the sales were not that great last week. The end of July 3rd and 4th weekend is going to be the first part. I'm going to apologize. My audio chops out a couple times, so you'll miss a few little words here and there, but it's not too bad. The second half of the video is me doing just pictures and showing you guys what sold the latter half of the week. So the sales are going to go from the 3rd through the 11th. But I will tell you the sales ending on July 4th weekend, I had a total for the last week of $907 gross sales. It's not the profit and everything. That's just the gross sales. If you go back and watch the previous week's video, you'll see the total sales that I had, and you'll see the individual profit on every item. So this video kind of wraps up the 3rd and 4th. It shows a few items, and then it shows the first few minutes shows the sales up until the 7th. And then the last half, you'll see me doing the last several days, and I'll show images of the items that sold. It was a rough week. I made up a couple mistakes on auction, so you guys hang tight and you'll see what I ran into, things I did by accident, and some things you'll need to watch out for when you're doing your sales. As always, guys, enjoy the video. But I'll go ahead and show you guys the first item. It was another one of those deals where 2 days in a row you sell something. It's kind of interesting. This is the Barry Manilow live from Las Vegas. I had 2 of these out there and they didn't sell for a long time. Then all of a sudden, 2 days in a row they sold. So I think it may be because the auction was in the last day or something, and it's more visible for buyers. So anyway, got 54 cents into this guy, and it sold for $3.89 plus the buyer paid shipping. So I'm probably making just shy of $3 profit on that. But again, not bad. If I could sell 800 of these individually, I would make $2 to $3 a piece, but it would be a lot of effort. So again, another DVD sold and one less in my inventory. The next item that sold is this Korean court Barbie doll, I guess. Barbie collector. It's pink label across the bottom here. It's not in mint condition by any means, but it is sealed, brand new. It's never been opened. There is a series of these around the world, 25th anniversary, and Dolls of the World is what it says, Princess Dolls of the World. So anyway, this was a pretty unique one, and I've got this guy for $2 in the Mother's Day haul, and it sold for $49.99 plus the buyer paid about $10 to $12 shipping. It's going to have to go priority, and they are overseas, so it's going to cost a little extra. And the next item that sold on July 4th, actually, this HMS Trafalgar Soviet Oscar SSGN model. I had this guy listed for $28. I sent several offers out, and the guy bought it, replied back with an offer of $24. So I went ahead and accepted that. It's not a huge difference from where I was at, and they had to pay, looks like a good amount of shipping. So I may end up having to refund a little bit of the shipping. I'm not sure why, but it was $15 shipping, unless they're overseas somewhere. But anyway, so this was a $2 pickup at the Mother's Day haul, and sold it for $24. So at least going to make $20 profit on this guy. Okay, the next 2 items that sold in actually a single sale was this Lois Lane and Superman set, Barbie. It's Ken, Superman, and Lois Lane, Barbie. This actually sold. This was a pretty unique set as well. Brand new, never been opened. It still has the posters inside. This actually sold for $51.44. I think I had it for $57.99 or something like that. Sent watchers offers for $51.44, and one of them accepted and paid shipping on top of that. So I have $4 into this, $2 into each one, and total profit on it's going to be probably around $45. So these were really a good item. Pretty unique collectibles, and glad they sold for $51.44. Okay guys, so I actually missed an item. These are from a video I think I just relaunched it for you guys. It was a Tractor Supply sourcing run that I did. These were two items that were on clearance there. They're called Black Flag Bug Zapper bulb replacements. They're 15 watts each. I'm gonna give you a close up. That one's actually got the sticker all over it. That one's not much better, but there you go. It's Bug Zapper, fits most Zapper brands. It says. These were $7 a piece, $6.49 a piece, I believe. And they ended up, I listed them and they sold within a couple hours. I listed them for $15 a piece, I guess, and one buyer bought both. So total profit on that's probably going to be around $16, $17 for the two of them combined, and then they paid shipping on top of that. So not a bad turnaround. I love it when I list something and it sells within a couple hours. I did price it competitively, but it wasn't so far that I would have expected it, like it was a hot deal that somebody is getting a super really good deal. I just think there was not a lot of these things out there. So if I can find these, I'll probably buy more of them and list more. Okay guys, so now I'm going to cover the rest of the sales, pretty much a little bit for the 6th, but also through the 11th. I decided to hold off on doing videos for every single day on these items because it was really a slow week the first part of the week. The last couple days has stepped it up quite a bit more. So what I did is I packaged all those items up and I sold them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you on the screen right here as I go through each item, kind of show you how much I sold it for and let you see a little picture of what the items are. The other thing to note is that I had two major issues this last couple of days. I sold two items and I crossed the shipping up on those items. It's a common mistake that eBayers do. I try to take extra precaution. I check things 3 or 4 times before shipping them out. Somehow I made this mistake and I sent completely two different items to two different people. It's going to end up costing me probably at least $30, maybe $40 out of my own pocket because of shipping the items, having to refund, losing that shipping cost, and then also having the item shipped back to me. So it really kind of stinks. It's not the worst mistake I've made, but it is going to cost me about $40, $30 to $40. As long as I get the items back. If I don't get the items back, I think everything's working out. The buyers have been extremely nice. I've refunded the money. I've sent money for shipping those items back. So I think everything's going to work out, but it could have been a really bad situation if I'd sent a really high valuable item to the wrong person and then they said, no, I want to keep it. Then I don't know that I've got much recourse in that scenario. So guys, always triple, quadruple check your shipping. When you print your labels off, USPS does kind of a form that you can kind of see who bought. So when you're looking at the labels that you printed out, look at the screen and double check. It's usually what I do. Somehow I still made a mistake and put the wrong label on the wrong item. So I have no idea how I did that. I must have been a little sleepy when I was doing the labels or something. So because I remember triple checking these when I was doing them. And then once I was finished, I still checked it again. So I have no idea how I did that, but either way, it happened, and just keep an eye out on it yourselves when you're doing your auctions and shipping things out. Okay, so the first thing that sold, the first two items are the items that I swapped up. So I sold two Wacky Wobblers, a Joker and a Wonder Woman Wacky Wobbler. And those guys cost me $2 a piece, so $4 into them, and I sold them for $35.18, which with shipping on top of that. Obviously, I've refunded all that money because I sent those to the next buyer who bought the C.E. Schmidt large men's gloves that I bought at the Tractor Supply sourcing video that I showed you guys. If you go back and watch, those cost me, I think they were $4.99. Maybe they ring up as no, I'm sorry, they were $6.49, and they ring up as I think $7.99. So anyway, I sold those for $13.99 plus the buyer paid shipping on top, which was about $18 total. I'm going to have to refund all that and send them, obviously, money to ship back the Wacky Wobblers that they got. So long story short and all that, keep an eye out. That's a zeroed out sale. Plus, I've lost about $30 to $40. So my total sales from July 6th or July 7th, late 6th through the 11th ended up being about $350 gross sales. Which is way under, even if you add the Sunday, my total sales was still barely over $400, I think, which is about a third of a normal week for me. So this past week was very slow. The week before was pretty slow. So I'm kind of hoping next week will pick up for me. All right, so the next item is a Nintendo Wii Toy Story Mania Complete. It's a game that has the 3D glasses and everything. This is an item that we've had in our Wii inventory, personal Wii inventory, for quite a while. My kids played it once or twice, never used the glasses or anything, so it was in brand new mint shape. It sold for $18.01 with shipping included there, so probably going to make about $12 profit on that total after shipping. It'll go out. It went out media mail, so right after that, the same day, or the next morning, excuse me, on the 7th, I actually sold a Wii Sports that we had, that I picked up off of Facebook, a local Facebook purchase. I got a whole Wii, the Wii Sports Resort, 2 or 3 other Wii games, 4 of the Wii controllers with the extra dongle on the bottom, the motion, the extra motion or something. I can't remember what they call it. And the Wii itself, it just didn't have power cables, so I bought a set of power cables from another eBayer for I think $6 or $7 plus $5 shipping. But anyway, I went ahead and listed the Wii Sports. It sold for $30 almost, just shy of $30 with shipping included. So that one will go out. Then on the 8th, I also sold a brand new Brantley Gilbert CD. I picked this up at Walgreens for $1, and it sold for $11.29 plus the buyer paid about $4 shipping on that. It's going to go out media mail, so not a huge profit, but what is that, $10 total on a $1 item? I enjoy doing those. Those are awesome. Okay, the next item was a complete LTD model, IAR 80A. It's a 1/48 scale model. This guy actually cost me $2 in the Mother's Day haul, and it sold for $11.29, and the buyer paid about $6 shipping on top of that. So another one of the cool little models I got from that Mother's Day haul. Go back and watch that video if you guys haven't seen it before. Okay, then on the 8th, the last sale of the 8th was a Moultrie Universal 6-volt solar panel. And if you guys have seen the Tractor Supply video, you'll know what that is from that pickup, that sourcing haul that I did. So I sold the first one. I have 7 of those available. It sold for $24.99, and the buyer paid about $10 shipping on top of that. So I made a couple of dollars on shipping as well. So total profit on that guy was about, I guess, maybe $15. So if I do that 7 times, that's going to more than cover the entire cost of the Tractor Supply run by itself. Obviously, I lost a little money when I sent the gloves to the wrong buyer, but I'm going to count that as just a separate loss. Okay, on the 9th, we actually had several sales. We had 3 sales on the 9th. This is the second accident I made this week. It was new with tags, Walking Dead collectibles. It had a lanyard. It had a his and hers wallet included with it, and both his and hers wallets had the tags with it and everything. The men's wallet is in a plastic wrapper. The women's wallet, however, was it didn't have any covering on it at all. And this auction also had 2 drink holders. I think they're called foos, something like that. But anyway, everything was fine with this auction except for the women's wallet. I had stuck the women's wallet in between 2 boxes, and the boxes, in shifting, I guess, had deteriorated the edges of the wallet and started peeling the fabric that was on the wallet. So I contacted the buyer. I said, hey, not sure if it sold for $12.99 plus the buyer paid like $6 shipping. Contacted them, said, hey, I have damaged the women's wallet in this auction. I don't think you want this. Let me know if you still want the other items. And they replied back with that it was supposed to be a birthday present for their wife. Did I think the damage was that bad? And I replied back, it's absolutely, I would not give this as a birthday gift. So I said, I'll just return. I did a refund of all their money. Felt horrible on that one too. So made 2 mistakes this week, kind of made me rethink things and take an extra step back and start looking at things a little bit closer. But that happens to all of us. So we'll chalk that up to my 2 strikes for the week. I'm not going to do a 3rd strike, I hope. So the next auction was a large set of Iron Man toys from 1994. There was a lot of 5 of them. It has the Mandarin Hydro Armor, Backlash, all 5 of them. They sold for $39.99, plus the buyer paid about $12 shipping on top of that. So these items have actually been out there. They're part of the Mother's Day haul. So I've got, what, $10 into it, $2 a piece. So I'm going to make probably about $33 profit on that after all is said and done. So that was a pretty big sale for me this week, and I was very excited to get those moved because those are actually in decent shape. A couple of them had stickers on them, but overall they were in really good collectible shape. The next item that sold on the 9th was a brand new sealed Sunoco 2004 race car hauler. And it said it had a pit wagon with it, so I'll show you guys a picture of that on the screen. But it sold for $16.99, and the buyer paid about $13 shipping on top of that. So total, I got $2 into it, and I'll make a couple of dollars on shipping as well there. So I'll probably make about $14 profit on that guy. The next items all sold on the 10th, and there were several that sold on the 10th, which actually really surprised me. It was a Friday. I thought the week was going to wrap up with very, very low sales. It still was pretty low, but I had, like, right at the end of the day Friday, 4 auctions sold right back to back to back. And they were actually items. 3 of the items were items I've had for a little while. So one of them was the first one was the Clairol Natural Instincts hair coloring. So I'll show you guys a picture on the screen. I pick these up all the time. If I can get them for less than maybe $1.50, sometimes I get them for like 50 cents to $1. I think this one cost me $1.99. So not a huge profit as compared to some of the others that are like 50 cents, but this one still sold for $10.99. And then the buyer paid about $5 shipping on top of that. So my total profit on that's probably going to be around $8 because I made $1 or $2 on shipping there as well. So not a huge profit, but it's I love those little sales like that. If I hadn't had that this week, I wouldn't have made the $8. So I definitely will take that. The next item is a Sony RM YD028 remote control. As if you guys have been watching my videos, you know I love remote controls. You can get those for $1 or $2 all the time at Goodwill, at yard sales. So this guy sold for $8.49. It wasn't a high-end remote, but it was still worked. It was in great shape. It looked brand new. So sold it for $8.49 and the buyer paid about $5 shipping on top of that. So my total profit on that's going to be $5 to $6 total. Okay, the next item that sold on the evening of the 10th was a Wii Sports Resort. Like I said earlier, I bought this from a bundle deal, and actually the crazy thing, I didn't say earlier how much I paid for all of that Wii bundle. It had the Wii, everything but the Wii cables, and it had the games and everything. All that cost me $20. And the cool thing is I also bought a set of Harman Kardon speakers for $2. So I had $22 into this whole bundle. It was a huge Wii bundle as well as the 2 speakers. So it was from the Facebook group from my local neighborhood. It was a huge pickup. I jumped all over it. And the unfortunate thing is it didn't have power cables, but I picked those up for $10, so 10 or 12 bucks. So once I get all that in, I'll test the Wii out, and then I'll probably resell the entire Wii bundle. So the Wii Sports Resort, the Wii Sports sold, and the Wii Sports Resort also sold. So that sold for $24.99, plus the buyer paid $3 medium mail shipping. The next item, I've actually had this item for about 6 months now. I thought it might have ended up being a bad buy. It's a Progenix Retinol Potent Anti-Wrinkle Cream, night cream. And it actually cost me $6.99, so it was probably a little too high. One item I probably wouldn't pick up again. I got it from Ross, and it sold for $10.99, and the buyer paid about $6.80 on shipping. So I'm going to end up making $3 or $4 total on that. When I looked them up, and originally when I first bought it, it looked like I was going to make $10 to $15 profit, but it didn't quite work out that way. And I did reduce the price a little bit, and I sent somebody an offer. So either way, it sold, and I still made a little bit of profit on it. The next item is a rare Hot Wheels Monster Jam. This is the Butt Dalmatian Monster Jam trailer. I sent an offer of $19.19 to a buyer, so they accepted that, and then they paid about $15 shipping. I'm not sure why the shipping was so high. It may be going out of the country or through eBay's international shipping program. But anyway, I'll make the item cost me $2. I'll end up making easily $15 to $18 profit on that one item. The next item that sold was the Pacific Blu-ray set. And what's interesting about this Blu-ray set, it sold one time, and the buyer immediately sent me back a note and said, "Hey, I thought this was DVD. I can see now it's Blu-ray." And I had actually accidentally left DVD somewhere in the description, so I corrected the auction, relisted it. This cost me $4 at a local Facebook pickup, and I sold it for $14.99, and the buyer paid $4 shipping on top of that. So total profit's going to be about $10, I guess, on that, maybe $9-10 on that total. And that wraps up all the sales for this past week. And again, like I said, the sales for the last several days that I did here was right at about $350. And then the whole week as a whole was like less than $450. So it was a rough week, but I actually took advantage of the last 2 weeks and have kind of taken a little bit of a break from things. So hopefully you guys learn from my mistakes and also can take a break yourselves. It's the summertime, so get out and enjoy some of the sunshine. Be safe, and as always, guys, be blessed.